Hello friends, this is Grania Tyndall here from Numbers for Success. And as promised, this is just a brief numerology forecast for what I believe is energetically possible this month of October 2020. So folks, we managed to get through to this point. And has your September been one of balance or imbalance? Because we would have spoken last month about the energy of September. Whilst it's a number 9 month, energetically, it's actually a 4 energy. And the reason you get that is that you add the number 9 to the current year, which is 2020, which has to be 13. So 1 and 3 is 4. So we work with the energy of that because of the current year that we're in. So therefore, there was the equinox. There was, I think there was a lot of, it was really about foundations and creating the foundation for the next stage. And again, a lot of people around the world were still subjected to the current pandemic and the lockdown. So the 4 was, I suppose, being brought back to basics again, brought back to home peace, certainly in Dublin and in Kildare and other counties like Donegal and Louth here in Ireland, but I'm sure around the world as well. I think Melbourne is still in quite a severe lockdown. But so let's look at October 2020. Hopefully I have good news. I feel like I'm the doomslayer. So October is a number 10 month. And once again, if you can, which you will understand now from having listened to this over the time, because we're in a number 2020 year, which has to a 4, 4 and 1 is 5. So October is a 5 month. So what does 5 mean? Now, 5 is very, very different to 4. 4 is about security. It's about, probably being locked down, being boundaried, like a bit like Saturn, boundaries. And it's about sort of structure. Whereas the 5 is about kaboo, break out, break through, break free. They're the words I would say for the number 5 year. 5 is about freedom. It's about change. It's about massive life change. So what does that mean for all of us? Well, I really believe October and November and December, these last 3 months are very much we're reaching a crescendo at this point. And none of us really know, because at the end of the day, we're all sort of free falling. But whilst each of us are taking personal responsibility for our own well-being and life, we can therefore bring it, as we always say, to the collective. So in terms of the number 5 month, I would certainly suggest we're going to see some massive, massive change. This to me is great opportunities though. Change only leads to opportunity, in my belief. So it's very much about being open to the idea of some fundamental changes occurring in your life. And it could be radical change. Now, whilst, we're all living in a so-called democracy, but we are, therefore we still have choice and free will. So it's important that if there's some things that are going on in your current experience that you really wish to change, that you can change, that are in your control to change, this is the time to do it. Now, tomorrow, actually the 1st of October, in astrology, it is a full moon in Aries. And Aries is to do with fire. And I'm not an astrologer, I just have an interest. So the full moon to me is illumination. So from tomorrow, the 1st of October, I feel once again, things are being uncovered all the time, rapidly. And that's coming not from the mainstream media. It's coming from other sources. So I say this on my podcasts, these type of things. Anyone who will listen, please find your own information. Please look up whatever it is you wish to explore for yourself and get your own truth. That's really important. And what 5 is about is uncovering. It's discovering. It's very much about massive change coming, which will have a tidal wave. I hope that's not literal. I'm just literally coming through information here. A tidal wave of information that will just blow us into the stratosphere. Again, I hope not literally. So it's very much about each and every one of us being accountable now, standing up, being heard, speaking up. Speak up. Whatever platform you can speak up, if it's your truth. Okay? And it's about honoring other people's truth. Now, there's somebody I follow on I follow her on various different platforms and I really like her work. Her name is Laurie Ladd. And she is an American lady who's quite, I love her way of, she does similar work to me in that she talks, you know, from different platforms, and she works with the Galactic Federation, it's called. Now, her information is it's very real, it's very grounded. And she gave a very good example, which I feel is pertinent to this month that we're currently going into in October. And she describes about free will, about being on the earth as a human, and that if you think of your life as being like an 8-lane highway and you're zoom, zoom, zoom. So of all these different places and destinations and experiences, and we have free will. That's what number 5 is about, free will, to make the choices we make. So we might decide to go into lane 1 when we're born. This is very basic, and then as life changes, we decide to go to lane 6. And by going into lane 6, what is happening is your life in lane 1 is still going on simultaneously. So what's happening is every choice you make is bringing you into different lanes, but it's literally living on the same dimension. I know this sounds a little bit radical, but I really believe that's what's happening right now. We are going into the next dimension, whether you believe this or not, 5th dimension. And it's also interesting, it's a 5 energy month. And of course, 5G has been rolled out around the world, which is another conversation. And then that's going to bring a lot of change, put it that way. And then you have the 5th dimension, which is really where human goes into the place of being able to instantaneously create. And this is not Star Trek, folks. This is not Star Wars. This is actually happening right now in October 2020. And this is the month these things are going to happen. So it's no coincidence that the 5 is rolled out, the 5G, the 5th dimension is in full swing, shall we say. So be mindful this month of the changes that are going to be occurring at a phenomenal pace. You must make some change though in your physical, emotional, mental and spiritual this month. So again, as a friend of mine, NASA mentioned about, it's very much about clearing out the system. 5 is about that detox, letting go of what substances or ways of living that no longer serve you. So we are going to be tested this month. There's no point pretending we are. So to make sure you, as part of the whole, make sure that you are aware of where you're at and how much you've got to contribute to this experience. Do your research, find your own truth, be the change that you want to see, as opposed to blaming the powers that be. And if there's issues that you have in any situation that's going on in your life right now, which is currently playing on the world stage, make your voice be heard. That's what the 5 is about. It's about radical freedom and freedom of speech. If you want to have a personal session, please contact me privately. You know how to do it. And because I can help you as to figure out what's going on right now in your experience and also the right timing. So mind yourselves, friends. Radical change brings opportunities. Be gentle on yourself. Do the old detox and embrace the change. Much love. Until next month. Take care.